going to hate this answer, but you just got to be consistent. You know, everyone wants the now, which is great, but that person that stays the strongest for the longest is the one who wins. So I put it on.
Wow.
And it was a huge success.
Hello guys, welcome to the Next Level podcast where me and my guest share experiences, knowledge and practical exercises that can help you level up to your better self. Today I'm with Nick Edgerton.
You said it right.
Did
man.
I pronounce that right?
You said it right, bro.
Beautiful. And I'm Gareth Collins. Thank you for tuning in. Nick, introduce yourself and share more about what you do.
Sure.
Please.
As Gad said, I'm Nick Edgerton. I'm 35 years old. I grew up in Australia, lived in England for 8 or 9 years, and then I moved to Thailand. I've almost been here 6 years now. So I've lived sort of across the globe quite a bit. I'm the owner of PCA Thailand, which has now become Thailand's #1 bodybuilding and fitness organization here. And obviously I do my online coaching as well, which I've done for the last sort of 10 years, which has gone to pretty high levels. But it's hard to manage sort of everything that I'm doing at the same time. So I'm kind of going through a bit of a transition into where I'm trying to get to and where I'm trying to head. So it's a little bit about me to introduce myself.
Lovely. Thank you, Nick. Thank you for being here and blessing us with your presence, experience and wisdom. I'm looking forward to finding out about it.
Thank you for having me, man.
You're very welcome. Can you share with me a bit about your childhood?
Sure. Look, to be honest, I grew up in a really good family. I can't say there was any hardships or anything like that.
Wow.
I come from a very sort of middle class, normal family, 2-parent household. Not super wealthy, not super poor. We just had everything in between. 2 good parents, really nice family. So, a lot of the time people sort of have that hardships from childhood, which makes them the person that they are.
Yes.
I didn't have any sort of pain or anything like that. So I'm quite fortunate to have that, because I think probably most people don't have that. But I also believe that might have put me at somewhat of a disadvantage for getting to where I'm trying to get to, because I didn't have any pain in order to grow into someone that I'm trying to be. So in order to do that, I had to put my own self through my own hardships to feel that own pain that would drive me into something else. You know what I mean? So
how did that look like?
It was more physical, if anything.
Okay.
Because, from a young age, I was always into sports and fitness and things like that. And I'd say putting myself through own pain, I used to play football, and I started football when I was 6 years old, but the minimum age was 9. So you had to be under 9. So I played up 2 years.
Okay.
And so when I played up 2 years, I used to get smashed because I was so young and so small.
Yes.
I used to get smashed, but I never gave up and I just kept pushing. And so that kind of, every time I'd go to play, I'd get smashed every time and it would hurt, right? And it would put me down, but I'd constantly want to challenge myself to get better. And then kind of when I got to the right age limit, I was the captain of the team because I'd had the experience that the others hadn't. However, in that team, we'd get smashed by 200 points every game.
Wow.
And I was the defender, okay? So I'd watch the ball go over my head that many times, 50 times a game.
Yes.
And it was demoralizing.
What inspired you to confront and attack that pain at such a young age? You're saying you had very stable upbringing, brilliant, and then something in your mind said, this is too stable for me. I need pain to strengthen my character.
Yeah, definitely.
Where did that come from?
I don't know, but I think it sort of happens probably organically because, like I said, if I was on that football team and we were getting smashed every game by 200 points, that created a sort of pain and a drive inside of me. And there was times where I just thought I could do what all my friends did and go and join a winning team. I could just leave that team and go and join a winning team, but I knew that I wouldn't feel within myself right by doing that.
Oh, okay.
So I just persevered and I just stuck it out for 2 years. Every game would get smashed. It would hurt. I'd go away. I'd train harder. I'd work harder. But this was you're not conscious of that time of what you're doing because you're so young. But then looking back on it, it's sort of, that's what's got me through everything where I'm getting to, is having that pain of constantly losing and then using that and channeling that energy into trying to turn it all around. Because like, I always say to people, like, you know, in the fitness and things like that, and I'm just like, they're like, how do I get to where I need to be? I'm like, look, you're going to hate this answer, but you just got to be consistent. You know, everyone wants the now, which is great, but that person that stays the strongest for the longest is the one who wins.
Marathon mindset.
It is, man. And, you know, by the time, you know, like going back to that football thing, I ended up starting playing basketball and I got into the basketball. And so through all my childhood, I was constantly on losing teams, constantly. But we got better and I got better and I got stronger. I was never the most talented, but I always knew how to get the best out of people. And I ended up playing basketball, and in like I think it was under 18s we got to, that was the first year where I was put into a team and we were pretty dysfunctional. None of us knew each other and things like that. But I feel like I was like a cornerstone of bringing everyone together in that team. And we ended up doing what everyone said we couldn't. We won the championship that year.
Beautiful.
And we literally pushed and pushed. And we went to every training. I was the first one there, last one to leave. But I know that I really wanted to win that year, win that championship, because I knew the whole time previously in my life, I'd constantly lost. I'd never felt the feeling of actually winning, and it would kill me. It would make me so mad, right? So all like my teenage years, all my childhood, it was just losing teams. But we got a little bit better. You know, you don't necessarily get better from winning. You know, I think you get better from losing.
Yeah.
As long as you just have that instinct, that killer instinct to just never quit and never give up. And eventually you'll get there. Now, the championship we won, it wasn't like it was like a national, like professional level title, but those lessons taught from losing so much taught me the lessons on how to win. And I've literally used that formula for everything that I've done, but I don't just speak it, like I've done it and I've lived it. And so it's like people sort of feed that off me, because I get a lot of people that will come to me, because obviously I do the fitness coaching, right? And I've done that for many years at a really high level. Like I'm not one of these guys that's like, oh, I'm just an online coach all of a sudden. Like I've been doing this before it was even popular on social media. And so I built up a huge name for myself in that. And, you know, a lot of it was the mindset side of things, because people sort of like, anyone can get a training plan and a diet plan, and there is like levels too, like there is advanced levels to it, but they're all going to work in a sense as long as you stick to it. But it's the mind that's going to take you to the furthest levels, and you got to have that sort of pain towards it in order to try and get there. So I think in everything that I've done, I've never just joined a winning team. I've never joined someone who's at the top. And to be honest, I don't think I've ever had the opportunity to join it, because I've never been skillfully good enough.
Okay.
And that's okay for me.
Yeah.
Because I've overtaken people. Like, for example, I did my first ever bodybuilding competition in 2013. And there was 30 guys in my class, right? And I came dead last. You know, I came dead last out of 30 guys. But I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed myself. But it also took me back to my childhood when I was like, this is when I was getting smashed. And I just got smashed. And what did I do in my childhood to turn that around? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that, I'm going to talk to the judges, I'm going to say, what do I have to do to win? And they pretty much said, you need to do everything. Like, you suck, right? But they were right? So I thought, okay, I'm going to listen to that. So I went away. 3 years later, I did a couple of shows in between, but 3 years later, I came back to the exact same show and I won it. And I'd beat people that had previously beaten me, who actually like used to laugh at me a bit, like, oh, look, this guy, what's he doing here? But I had that hunger. So it's like losing taught me how to win more than anything. And that's sort of what I take forward with people. It's like when someone says like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I lost, I'm like, good. Like, it just like fires me up. I'm like, that is the most powerful position you can be in.
Yes.
You know, so that's sort of what really propelled me through everything. And I'd say from going back to, your question about my childhood, like I said, really good childhood, but I had to put myself through enough pain in order to get me motivated to what I do. So now, anytime I'm sort of, let's say, in a losing position, I fucking love it, man. I don't mean to curse, but I love it because it's like, I know how to turn this around.
That's a very rare mindset.
Yeah.
How do you sort of like implement that with other people? How can you inspire people to have that attitude with obstacles and struggles?
I just tell them my exact story. Like, I'm very personable. I'm personable with people that need it. You know what I mean? I don't open up to everyone and anyone. Like, I open up to people that I trust and like. But it's like, if I have someone that comes to me like a client and they're like, here's where I'm at and here's where I want to get to. I'm like, okay, well, do you feel enough pain where you are now? Most of them don't.
No.
They don't. They're happy. They're okay being a bit fat or being a pothead or being a porn addict. Most people won't admit it. But these are like the worst things, man. Like the worst. And it's like, if you can just shake those things, but they're comfort things, right? So they don't have enough pain towards it. Like, you've got to have pain towards where you're trying to get to, you know? Yeah. And don't get me wrong, it hasn't always just been like smooth sailing all the way through. Like, I'm 35. I've lived some quite life experience. So there's been like ups and downs, and there's been low points, and there's been things like that. And it's like, you got to get through that. But your question is like, how to get through that. I just explained my story. And we might not be in the same industry, but it's still the same formula. Like, you got to feel enough pain from where you're at in order to get to where you say you want to be. And everyone talks about saying like, oh, I want to be the best in the world at this. But then you look at their actions and like, no, you don't. Like, and I think that's another thing is like, you know, if you want to get to where you want to be, you have to do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. And you have to be the person you say you are. Regardless
of your emotions or
what
day it is.
Your emotions, like, that's just like, that's beginner shit. No, it is. It's like, that's basic, man. If like, don't get me wrong, like, I've had times where I've fallen back into that trap and I've been, you know, emotional when I shouldn't. But like, at the end of the day, it's like, all right, well, this is where I'm at and this is where I need to get to and here's what I'm doing. Is that going to get me to where I want to be? Absolutely not. So what do? Well, I have to cut this. I have to cut this. I have to wake up at this time. You know what I mean? It's like, you got to be a bit of a savage with that.
Certainly. So going back to your parents, what do you feel are like some of the attributes that they installed in you for you to have that mindset, even though they didn't like, if it wasn't rough or they didn't like knock you around or anything?
No.
Do you know what I mean? There's something else they must have gave you?
Probably work ethic.
Yeah.
Like, my dad would work from like 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. at night every day. Like, non-stop.
What did he do?
When I was really young, he was a police officer.
Okay.
And then he retired from that and then did like insurance, accident investigation sort of stuff. But he just worked, man. He literally just worked. He just worked and worked and worked and worked. And he was so consistent, you know?
Yeah.
And so, like, my mum also worked like a full-time job. They're both retired now.
Yeah.
But I'd say probably like seeing someone work from like 6 a.m. till 10 o'clock at night and still take care of the house, still make sure there's dinner, still make sure there's always, you know, he's always like, even though he's working like all day, every day, it's not like he was never there. He was still like there.
The stability that they have in their lives totally crossed onto you at such a young age.
Yes, but I mean, like, I look at like them and they're awesome, but I've kind of taken a different path. You know, I've kind of gone on my own solo mission. Like, I haven't done sort of what they've done in a sense. Like, they work jobs and stuff like that. I kind of went the opposite direction to what they're doing. But I think a lot of the characteristics and traits from them, they've taught me that, you know, and they've taught me probably like stability in a sense of like, I don't have pain, you know, I don't have like any sort of disadvantage. But again, like I say, sometimes the disadvantage is the best thing you do. So I had to do that to myself because I just want more out of life. I want to squeeze so much like juice out of life that I have the most incredible experiences, but not only for me, because I know if I can give myself incredible experiences, the people around me will benefit too. And I love that. I love seeing the close people around me like do so well for themselves.
Beautiful to hear.
I can't pull people out of their own funks.
No.
I can just say, hey, you know, it's funny. I had a friend actually when I went back to Australia, and he said to me, "Oh, one of our friends is still doing this, and he's just doing dumb shit, right?" And I was like, "Can you see this cycle here? Like, this has been going on for 10 years, and you're trying to help him for 10 years, and nothing's changed. It's probably gotten worse." And I said, "Do you know what the best thing you can do is? Just become your best self." And they're going to see that. You know, they're going to see that, okay, you're becoming your best self. What the hell am I doing? You know, you can't just be someone's shoulder all the time. Like, yeah, it's important to be there and show love and support, but I'm not going to let that negative energy bring me down. And I watch it happen to others. Like, I got too many important things and too many places I'm going to get to. Yeah, it might be selfish. Yeah, it might be ignorant, but I got to focus on what I'm going to do. And if you want to be a part of it, great, let's go. But if you're going to just come and try and bring me down and talk about, oh, I'm depressed and things like that, just stay away from me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but just stay away from me.
Yeah.
I'm not a counselor. I'm not a guidance counselor. You can just take what I've done, watch what I'm doing, watch where I'm going, get on board with that, implement what I say, what I do, or don't.
So, like, yeah, I know you mentioned it might be selfish, but like you said, the more value you give to yourself, the more valuable you create for yourself, the more valuable you can be to the world.
You can be to the world.
Exactly.
You know, there was a time a couple of years ago where I sort of went back on that, and I was giving everything to everyone. I gave everything to everyone. And you know where I ended up? Broke, miserable, had nothing, out of shape, had nothing left to give. And then I looked around and I thought, where's everyone else? There was no one to be seen. I was done. I had nothing left to give. I gave everything. Right? I gave all of my energy. I gave my money. I gave everything I could give to everyone else, thinking that the more I sort of give to everyone else, like give, right?
Yeah.
The more it's going to benefit me, and we're all going to level up. It's not really the case.
It reminds me of like one of the reasons why a lot of people are hesitant in sharing on social media. They're too worried about what other people think of them, so they won't even put it out instead of just thinking, right, I want to put this out, I like this, so if no one else likes it, that's their problem. If they like it, great, no problem.
It's almost like your niche, right? Like, you got to find your niche. You can't be everything to everyone. And if you're trying to be everything to everyone, you'll end up nothing to nobody. That's sort of where I got to at some sort of stage. But when I was at that point, and I've helped so many people and I did so much stuff for everyone else, I looked around and I thought, there's no one here. There's no one around me. And that's not that people are bad. It's just human nature, you know?
Yeah, taking care of.
And it's like, I just thought, do you know what? Actually, I'm doing it wrong. I've got to look after me first. I've got to become my best self. And then I did that, and I started pushing and becoming my best self. And then people started to come. And then I could do more for them than what I could previously do just by giving handouts.
Totally.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a different mentality, but I think I had to learn that myself. And I haven't really had anyone like a big brother or something guiding me through it. I've had to figure this all out myself, and just being observant of everything, you know. But I don't think anything's sort of black and white. I think everything's quite grey. Like, and you kind of just got to see, like, every experience and everything is different, but you kind of learn your ways around it. But I never want to be one of those people that's just like stuck in my ways, you know. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. So go through like your careers and like when you left school, how did that look?
Yeah.
Like your work experience.
So in high school, I didn't finish year 11. I got to the end of year 11 and they said, you can either leave or we're going to expel you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. And I said, do you know what? See you later. Because I didn't care about school, man. Like,
yes.
I don't mean to be an ass, but I can't learn from someone who I don't want to be like. And like, the teachers are good, great people, didn't want to be like them. There was a couple of teachers that I found, they were a bit older, that taught for the love of it, and they had some great life experience that they could share with you, that I took some stuff from. But most of the teachers were there for a paycheck. And it's like, I couldn't like resonate myself to learn. Even if they were trying to teach me that 2 + 2 = 4, if you're not someone I want to be like, or I can learn something like valuable from you, it's like, I can't listen to you. So I was just a shit in school. And you were probably the same. Right?
I was just the same. I couldn't, like, I just wasn't receptive to it at all. I just wanted to do my own thing and smoke and party and I just couldn't get the grasp of it. But as soon as like I got to about 28, it took me like 28 years, and might have told this story before, but my teacher in school said to me while I was playing up, he says, Gaz, when you leave school, you will be nothing but a bin man. And that still sticks with me today, but I can look at it and I can harness it, which has, until I was like 28, it was painful and like I let it hold me down. A lot of my life I was a bin man.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? But as soon as I took the dive into something challenging, something that I really wanted to do, like cooking, and now what I'm doing now, I'm totally committed in developing myself.
Yeah. I mean, you and I have known each other since like 2018, so quite a while. Yeah. And like I've seen you as a person grow a lot, bro. Thank you. I mean, I didn't know this, but I saw you put it on social media that you were in prison before. Yeah. I saw you put on, like I'm saying it because it was on social media, right? It's not like a private thing.
No, not at all. About 12 years ago.
Yeah. And I had no idea.
Yeah, I was an absolute menace, man. Growing up, I was a nightmare. I was a nightmare for my mum. I just wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with the person in the mirror. We used to just do dumb stuff. I didn't invest anything that could really help me, sort of thing. I would never look at a book. Do you know what I mean? I had an attitude of, I'll do what I want.
Which is not a bad thing, but depends where you put that energy, right? Like...
Well, I'll go, like, the one changing factor was when I read David Goggins' book.
Oh, wow.
He's, in a nutshell, it's like, stop doing the things that you want to do. Start doing the things that you know you need to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that mindset that just changed me. That just absolutely smashed that attitude that I previously had. I was already on the way to gaining it because I picked up the book, but that was one of the first books that proper like changed me. Yeah. And you got to think, if you just keep doing the same things and what you want to do, anyone can do that. It's what you don't want to do. That's when you separating yourself from others.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's powerful, man.
And that just really stuck with me, man.
Powerful. But yeah, I've seen a huge change in you over the years.
Thank you, man.
You know
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
You know, someone from being in prison and then when I first met you and then moving out here and then running into you again and then seeing from you out here to sort of you can see it in your eyes. You can see it in someone's energy, you know, and it's like you're just a totally different person, but in a really, really good way.
And like that attitude of like attacking the things that like you're scared of doing and like getting rid of hesitation and being urgent to bring your best self out.
Hard
do you know
to
what I mean?
do though, man.
I was waiting like 28 years to like start living up to my potential.
Well, there's so many excuses to not, right? Like
parents.
There's so many excuses. There's hundreds of excuses not to. And most people fall into there. But there's probably 3 good excuses as to why you should. So it's like 3% of people will do it. 97% of people won't.
Okay, yes.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like there's 100 like 97 excuses to not do something and 3 excuses to do something. You know, it's hard to choose that 3% to go that way, but that's the hard shit that you need to do if you really want to do something in your life, right?
Do you want to be that rare person in life, or do you want to blend in with all the average?
And that's okay. Like it's more than okay.
If you're okay with it.
If that's what you want.
Great. Yeah, I'm happy for you. Do you know what I mean?
Think of anything worse.
But I will still try and inspire you to do more. I'm not going to lie to you.
Couldn't think of anything worse.
Yeah, exactly, man. But if you're happy with that, crack on. But yeah.
Sure.
But when it keeps eating up in your mind that you know you can do more, and like you're in a job, like I'm getting out of a bin truck and I'm like thinking, oh my God.
The worst.
Fuck, one day I'm going to start doing what I need to be doing and start bringing out my potential.
How many times did you say one day? But then it was day
until
one.
Until I just.
But then one day it was day one. Right?
That is exactly, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. You've got to stop saying that one day. You've got to start putting in steps and looking at, right, I'm doing a 9 to 5, But what am I doing between 9 and 8?
Yeah.
Oh, smoking weed. Oh, chasing women.
There you
Oh,
go.
well, that's why you're there.
Yeah.
You're not doing anything, implementing anything to move your life forward.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go?
Yeah.
Oh, I would like to travel the world. Oh, well, what you doing?
Yeah. What you doing? Yeah. You're chasing girls and smoking weed. It's never going to happen, bro.
Another thing is what heroes who has the life that you aspire to have now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to have those people that maybe you don't want to do exactly what they're doing, but they sort of lay a foundation and a path that, oh, actually, you know what I mean? This person's not really that special, but they became a special person because they did, and this was the path. And most people just lay it out, you know? So it's like, you got to have mentors that you aspire to be like. And I think I get a lot of young lads come to me like that now, which is crazy to think because I was that young lad finding people to aspire to be like. And I've kind of, now that I've got a bit older, I've kind of reverse rolled and I'm sort of mentoring people on sort of getting through that phase. And I think it's harder for younger people now, like for those younger guys, because there's so much more out there. And it's like, you know, we didn't have social media, right? You and I, you're 35.
35.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. So we know life before social media and in social media.
Yeah.
Now the guys that are 10 years younger than us, they only know social media, which is tough because it's so easy. Everything's so convenient. It's so easy to fall into doing like really dumb shit. And before you know it, you don't even realize. And then you're stuck where you are. Like depression, for example, that didn't exist 15, 20 years ago.
Well, I'm sure I had a little bit of it because I was playing Football Manager most of the day and smoking weed.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like, how many people now talk about depression?
Yeah.
I'm just like, this didn't exist 15, 20 years ago. Like we've almost talked ourselves into it. And it's like, it's okay to feel sad. Everyone feels sad. It doesn't mean you're depressed.
Yeah, well, it's a get out clause.
Yeah.
To get out close to say, right, I can have a chill day today. I'm feeling depressed. Like,
yeah, but you got to be busy. You got to be so busy and working so hard that you don't have the time. You can feel sad. Everyone can feel sad.
Yeah,
it's normal. It's okay.
Welcome it.
It does. And but you got to fight it. You know, sometimes when I feel sad or depressed or whatever, I think to myself, like it's almost like neuro-linguistic programming. You kind of tell yourself that negative is actually like good. I want to feel it because that's going to make me go to the gym and train like a beast and become an animal that I want to be and become that person, because you can't do it without that savage pain. You know, like you've got to have that fire in order to do it. Like,
how do you keep focus, Nick?
Well, I mean, I block out a lot of distractions, man. Like, and I'm trying to get better at it. Like, I'm trying to improve my sleep a lot because that's something I've always neglected. Always neglected sleep.
Just random bedtimes.
Well, just staying up and working, man.
Yeah.
And then knowing that I got to get up at like 4 or 5 a.m. the next day if I have to. Like, I've always neglected that. And that's something I'm taking a lot more seriously now. I've never taken drugs, right? Apart from like, well, performance enhancing.
Okay.
But what I mean
we'll
is
get
like,
into that.
you know what I mean? Drugs as in like all that
Mind,
shit. Never done it, man. Never done it. Never been interested, right? And I've always been like an odd one out for that.
Yeah.
You know, people used to say to me when I was younger, like, oh, you're a loser. You're a loser. And I'm just thinking, you just wait.
Oh, okay.
You wait. Yeah, you wait till I'm a bit older, and you wait till you're a bit older, and let's see who's the loser.
Nice. Okay, while we're on that subject,
go on.
How do you deal with like hate and like negativity like that? As you have just done, you've explained it great there.
Yeah.
But if you can like share with the viewers, like say if like people are getting left like shitty comments and just like toxicity.
Yeah. Vision, literally. And I'll give you an example of this, right? So when I was living in Australia, right, I was like, let's say I wasn't the most popular guy because I didn't drink really. So from ages 22 to 31, I didn't have one sip of alcohol, not one.
I'm old, sorry.
22 to 31, so 9 years, not one sip of alcohol. Like I used to drink like 18 to 22 every weekend. And then I ended up getting sick for like 3 months. Nothing serious. But then I was like at home for 3 months and I was like, I couldn't really do much and I was just chilling and I felt bad. And I'm like, is this how I want to live? It's like, nah. So I said, I'm done. No more alcohol. Quit. Done.
Nice.
I'm going to take my training more seriously, all that sort of stuff. And then when I did that, everyone was like, what a loser, right? Because it's cool to drink. It's cool to be the party guy, the drunk guy, the guy who takes the most drugs. It is in Australia anyway.
Yeah. But at that time.
At that
night from, let's say, 8 till 8 o'clock in the morning.
at that time. And so, when I did that and people were kind of like, what a loser. Even girls, man, they weren't interested in me. And I was just thinking, and you know what I'd do? Instead of going to out to party, I'd literally go to a library and study on a Saturday night. Or I'd go to the gym on a Saturday night. I'd travel to a gym that was like an hour away from me and make like a trip of it.
Oh, okay.
Right? And I was just thinking the whole time when I'm training, I'm going to show these guys, man. I'm going to show these guys.
Yeah, well, that's while you're in the position you are in.
Yeah, and it was my vision.
Long-term
It was my
gratification.
vision. And I've always had this book, right? I've always had this book that I had since like 2011. It's like an A4 journal, right?
Okay.
I've had it since 2011. I've got dates on it and everything. And all the stuff I've said in there, not all of it's come true, but it's on that path. It was move to Thailand. Like that was in there. Okay, I did that in 2020 or 2019. And there's like so many goals and visions. And I literally go through it every year. But dealing with hate, I say, you got to have your vision and you got to stick through it. And it's hard because I got a lot. And even I still get a lot. And it's funny because like my close friends that stick with me now, they're like, you know how many people talk shit about you, man? And I'm like, but they say to them, right? They say to those people, yeah, but Nick's doing exactly what he said he was going to do 10 years ago. And you're just doing the same shit as you're doing now. It's like, and I mean, they might still be laughing and that's okay. And like, they might be laughing at me, but I'm not laughing at them. But I am laughing.
You're not wasting no energy.
No, it's like, I've always had this thing and I don't know where it comes from. Whereas when someone, attacks me like hatred or personally or says something like, it just literally goes over my head. I don't take it to heart.
No.
I just think like, I don't know where it's come from, but I just think like, damn, like that person's got something with them.
That's what I think.
And they're projecting. No, and
totally.
it is because we've all been a hater at times. I've seen people who are doing better than me when I was younger. That guy, man.
Bitter.
Yeah, I feel like I want to comment, say something bad. Everyone's been that person. They can't say that they're not. But when I did that, and I actually thought about why I was doing that. It was like, I'm just projecting my own insecurity because I know I'm not good enough. And by me sort of telling him he's whatever, it's kind of making me feel a little bit better in that moment. Where in reality, that is just me injecting my insecurities. So I've done it. So I see it. So when people do it to me, I just think like, man, I know where you're at.
I can smell absolutely.
If you ever need me, bro, like this is what I do. This is what I offer. I can help pull you out of this funk. You do you though, bro. Like you can either stay there or you can, put a vision in place and get to where you want to be. And like we said, aspire to be like some people that you really like. And that's I think is really what is sort of how I deal with people who are, let's say, hate,
And you're so confident on your direction and you got so much clarity anyway. So it's like you're running somewhere, you're going there, someone's saying, no, go that way, go this way, the distractions, and you just can go, oh no, that's silly.
Sometimes though, sometimes the hate is valid and sometimes you need to listen to it.
Yes.
Really, I do. Because, people might be telling you something over and over and over. And if you just completely ignore it, you know what, there's some truth into what people say. And sometimes when someone will say something, I'll read it or I'll listen to it and I'll say, do you know what? They're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I am that. And I need to do that better. So sometimes it's actually good. And that's why I say when we were younger, bullying was brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal. In high school. It was brutal. Like we would be so savage to each other. That's not allowed these days. No. You can't even tell someone that their hair is messy.
They're a bit overweight. You
can't say that. We would be like, you fat, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? but now people are as fat as they've ever been, right? And I say, like, you know, anytime, like, I was never bullied per se, but there was definitely people that would bully me about certain things, but that made me better.
Yes.
It did. I needed to hear that. I needed to hear, do you know what? You suck at this and blah, blah, blah. And I needed to hear that. I needed girls to break my heart. I needed bullying in my life because it made me better. And that's why I say, like, some people hate this, but I say bring back some bullying, man. You can't just cuddle everyone and tell them it's okay, you can be fat. And, like, you can if you want, great. But most people don't want to be fat, man.
Basically, you're saying you can destroy your body. It's okay. It's your body, basically. Just like someone's on drugs, someone's on heroin, someone's drinking alcohol every single day. It's okay. Carry on with the tenant super. It's okay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
but
and
if
you
they
know
came
it's
to
not
me,
helping
it's
them.
not, yeah.
You know it's not helping them.
Yeah.
But you haven't got the courage to say anything to them.
But you got to pick your audience.
My
like,
mom, I love my mom to bits. My mom loves a drink.
Yeah.
So, like, and she smokes as well. All through the holiday, she's choking and coughing while she's here. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, Mom, how many cigarettes you've had? And she's like, none. She probably has. Do you know what I mean? But at least she knows I care for her.
Yeah.
And if anything seriously does happen, I know I've tried my best. And do you know what I mean? I've tried to influence her to live a more healthy life rather than just not shutting my eyes and going, oh, it's her life, she can do what she wants. No, I care for her.
Yeah.
So I'm allowed to say something for her and she can take it or leave it.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I'm not going to kill myself for her, but I'm still going to continue to try and influence her to look after herself.
That's what I say, man. If you can just be your best self and other people see that, you know, whether that's your mum or someone else, that's going to give them a bit of second thought, man.
And that's another thing. You've got to be mindful of how much effort you're putting into that person, because you don't want to be wasting a lot of your energy.
Yeah.
And like, because you lower the value of like your words, because if someone's not listening to you, you're wasting your breath.
Yeah. I mean,
So
it's like,
don't waste too much effort and energy. So it comes with a time when I go.
An example of that would be like, I mean, I've said this a few times, but when you're on the aeroplane, right, they're giving the safety warning and they say, when the oxygen mask falls down, put your oxygen mask on first before helping someone else. Because if you don't help yourself first, you can't help anyone else either.
Yeah.
And I think I've always used that as almost like a metaphor for life. Like, you've got to help yourself first, be your best self, and that allows you to help others. You can't help others if you can't help yourself.
Totally.
And it's not a selfish thing, you know. And so many people want to be like, they're eating their humble pie. It's like, nah, man. If you are genuinely good at something, if you are the best at something, if you're working towards something, tell people. I want to know. You know, no one can come to me and I'll walk away saying they're arrogant. If they're really genuinely someone who is the best at something and they say to me, I'm the best at this, I'll say, fair play, yes you are, keep going. And I won't think, what an asshole. But most people will think, what an asshole, so cocky, so arrogant. There's some things that I'm very, very good at. And I'll be the first person to say, I'm very, very good at this. But there's also some things that I'm very bad at. And I'll be the first to say, I'm very bad at it. You know, very critical of myself.
Honest.
So, yeah.
Just going back to that negativity, I just got a great one-liner from Grant Cardone. Like, when someone is throwing toxicity at you, like, you can look at it as you're doing enough work then, because you're putting yourself out there for people to
I mean,
talk shit. Like, do you know what I mean?
What's the saying? It's like, I can't think of the saying, but I know exactly what you mean. And it's like, if you haven't got haters, right, you're not doing something.
You ain't doing enough.
You ain't doing enough, right? Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah, because if you wasn't doing nothing, you're not making no noise. It's because you're making the noise, people are attacking you.
Yeah.
And you make them feel insecure.
It does, it does. But that's on them. That's not on you, bro. You know, you just keep going, man. Keep going. Be your best self, bro. Like, that's the number one thing, I think. Really, I do.
So, run through like your training and fitness philosophy when you have a new client.
It depends where they're at. I mean, I mostly only work with men, young men, mostly. Like, I've got a few that is, like, I've worked with some females and some older people, etc. But so the majority of my people are niched into young men that either want to compete in men's physique or want to have that men's physique look.
Yes.
Like that aesthetically pleasing, ripped body. And that's where I excel at. You know, I wouldn't work with like a weight loss woman that wants to drop 10 pounds for a wedding. Like I'd be the worst person for that, because I'm very like, yo, you got to do this, and I expect it. And so when I get a new client come on board, the first thing I say to him is, if you're not willing to give 100%, don't pay me, because I'm not interested. Or if you just want to drop 5 kilos and fit into a t-shirt, don't pay me. I'm not a fit for you. I want people that want to go to the very extreme and push themselves past their own limitations. Push it to a point of like, okay, I'm in this position now and here's where I want to be. A lot of guys, they'll send me like a picture of a guy like Lazar Angelov, who's just like incredible shape. I want to look like that. I said, great. You got the next 10 years to dedicate, because that's what it's going to take.
Oh, okay.
But they're the people I want to work with. And that's why I have so many like extreme transformations, because I set the precedent from the start. I don't care if you don't want to work with me. I won't take on anyone and everyone. In the beginning, yes, because I wanted to build what I was doing. I took on everyone and anyone. Yeah. But what I realized after doing that, and I was still struggling and not getting that many clients, is I can't be everything to everyone. So I'm trying to be everything to everyone, and I ended up nothing to no one. So it was like, okay, hang on a minute. What am I the best at? I'm the best at working with young men that want an aesthetically ripped physique and want to go to that extreme. Okay, cool. Here's my approach. This is what I charge. You pay up front. This is how long we're going to do it for. And you need to do everything I say 100%, or don't pay me. And that gets people fired up. You know, for my audience, that's the type of, like, if someone said that to me, I'd be like, let's go. I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah. There's no if in and there and no beating around.
No.
Do you do consultation calls? Are they
Sometimes.
free consultation calls?
Free. Sometimes.
Yeah, got ya.
Sometimes. It depends, man. I mean, I got to figure people out, right? I got to figure people out. And some people I don't. Like, I've worked with some clients like 7 years now, and they'll do 6 months a year with me, and 6 months they'll go and do what they want. They'll go and enjoy the summer kind of thing. And then they'll come back to me for the next 6 months. And we do every year like that.
Okay.
I don't consult call with them, because it's like, I know them.
Yeah.
I know where they want to go. I know where they want to get to. We're just very like, bang, bang, bang. Okay, this is what we've got to do. If I have someone that I think is maybe more complex, or I've never worked with them before, sure, we'll do a consult call. But that's sort of how it is. Like, I don't really have, I used to have measures and procedures, but now it's just like, I'm just straight to the point, right? Here's how it's going to be. Here's how it is. You got to, you know, if you want to do it, let's do it. If not, no problem. You know?
What are some of your biggest successes in the fitness industry?
I mean, myself or for clients? Or
let's go both.
It's been a journey, man. Like, there's been many.
Yeah.
Like I said, you know, probably my biggest success, which really put me on the map, was coming dead last in my first show. And then 3 years later, coming back to that same show and winning it and beating people that had previously beaten me. That was probably the first one. And then the next one would be, you know, I then became a coach, right? I started being, because people watched what I did, right? And then they were like, oh, this guy is, and it was, men's physique was kind of new. And like, so I was kind of like in the forefront of that. And so I had a few clients that wanted to work with me off the back of that. But at the same time, I was working in construction. And then I didn't have enough income from that to quit construction, but that lit a fire in me. It lit a fire of like, hey, I want to be the very best coach I can be, because I know I'm really good at this. I knew I was a really good coach because I was getting great results and people were attracted to me. And so that was my vision of trying to get out of construction and then go into the online coaching. And so I kept pushing my coaching, kept getting more clients, getting better, charging a little bit more, making a little bit more money. It still wasn't supplementing the construction income. And then I got fired from construction.
Yes.
But it was a bit of a shock, but I understood it, because when I was at construction, I was busy working on my coaching.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? So I started being less engaged in the construction, and they saw that. You know,
you needed that. That was a good thing.
But that was the kick. That like, okay.
Yeah.
And then when that happened, my coaching blew up. It really blew up.
That's so, like, a lot of people are scared to take the leap into their dream job.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's just a great.
Sometimes you
that's
need
a
something
great
to
story.
show you.
It's a great story
Yeah.
rather than waiting to get kicked out
Yeah.
or to lose your job.
Yeah.
Sack yourself.
Yeah.
Sack yourself from the job that you
Hard to
don't
do.
want.
Yeah, hard
you
to
know
do.
what I mean?
But the only way to open the new door is to close the one behind you, and it's scary, man. Like it's the unknown, but you got to know like where you put your energy is what you're going to get a return on.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're putting your energy here, you're never going to get anything. But if you kind of just put your energy into one thing, you're going to get the return on that. So that was probably another achievement is you know, being able to leave my job and doing that full time. You know, then the other part of that, I helped guys, you know, become national champions. I've helped, you know, guys turn professional. I've helped guys win professional. I've helped guys win money. Like I've really helped some high level guys achieve some crazy results. And that's been a huge sort of success for me. And then from sort of being so passionate and doing that evolved into becoming a show promoter. And so now I'm sort of show promoting, but I'm also still got coaching, but my coaching's at a less of a scale now because obviously I've got juggling both of these things now. So
how about your biggest weight loss?
For a client?
For a client, yeah.
I wouldn't say it's like, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it's 100 kilos, but I probably had a guy about 30 kilos, which is about 65 pounds or something like that.
How heavy was he when you came to you?
I don't know, to be honest. I can't remember. Maybe like 120 kilos to like 90 kilos. That was pretty cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
How did that feel when?
It feels the same with all of them, to be honest. It's always the same. And no matter what, you know, someone says they want to get from here to here, if they do, no matter which style it is, it's all the same, man. Like, you know, someone losing 30 kilos or someone winning a national championship, it's the same. It's the same buzz.
Tell me about that buzz.
I mean, you're just happy for their results, and you're excited because you know that you've kind of unlocked something like a new level that people can look at and aspire to, and it's going to attract more people to come to your business and things like that. So that's quite exciting. But yeah, you know, you just can't count your chickens before they hatch. Just because you had one good transformation doesn't mean it's always gonna work out.
Oh, right. Sounds like you don't celebrate that much.
Not really.
No,
not really.
You stay very level. You're one of the most level-minded people I've ever met.
Really, thank you. Thank you. You got to be, man.
Feels like you're so stable within yourself, man.
You can't. You have to be, man. Like, if you're going to be up and down, it's going to be a roller coaster. It's going to be tough. Look, there's times, you know what I mean? But I just got to lock it in. I really got to lock it in and just kind of be numb to it, in a sense. And that's I think that's really like, it's tough to do, but it's kind of like, okay, you know, when bad things happen, good. When good things happen, good. You know, it's like, okay,
that's a clip.
Now what's next? You know what I mean? So it's forever a progression. So
tell me about how you got the role of PCA kingpin in Thailand.
Thailand. So PCA is originally from the UK. It's the number one federation in Europe by far.
Yeah.
And they're absolutely smashing it there. So
and PCA stands for?
Physical Culture Association.
Okay. And
so it's a bodybuilding federation, association.
Yeah.
And I always put my clients in the UK into PCA shows because they always had good experiences and they were doing really well there. You know, everyone was chasing the original IFBB Pro card, and I was early on in my career because that's all we knew and that's all we had. It's changed. PCA completely changed the game. And so because they came in and did everything that they were doing wrong, they did it right, it kind of opened up a new window for people. And I saw an opportunity where others didn't, okay? Because everyone was still chasing the shiny toy of IFBB. I thought, do you know what? My clients are all going there having crap times, but I hear about this PCA and everyone's loving it. Just thought, I had about maybe 12 clients at the time, and they were all pretty decent athletes. And I thought, lads, let's try this PCA thing. They all went there and they all came back and said, this was the best show I've ever been to. That was incredible. Everything was on time. Everything was perfect. The tanning, the organization, the lighting, the stage, everything. And I just thought, wow, So I went and attended my first PCA show in, I think it was the British finals of 2016 maybe. And I was in awe. I could not believe my eyes.
Yes.
It was like the judging was fair. Everything was on point.
Music's great.
Everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is unbelievable. It's like nothing I'd ever seen before. Because the period that I was competing, it was it was a joke. Like everyone knew it, but you couldn't say anything. Because if you said something, you'd get marked out. So I'm getting to your question. It's just kind of,
go for it.
And so I became like the physique coach of PCA, and I put all my clients in there, and I started getting clients coming to me because there wasn't many coaches really pushing PCA at the time, but I was, because I was doing well off the back of it while everyone else was struggling in the other one. And I was like, this is interesting. So I just kept pushing it. I never knew the bosses. I never knew anyone, but apparently they knew me. And I had a few clients that would train at some of their gyms, the judges and the bosses' gyms and things like that, but I never knew them. And so when I moved to Thailand, I moved out here, and I went and checked out the bodybuilding scene and looked at the shows and things like that. And it was the same thing that was going on in the UK before PCA was there. I just thought, isn't that interesting? You know what I mean? I thought that's very interesting. So I went and met some athletes, and I spoke to athletes, and they just told me, it's not good and it's a bit dodgy, but we can't say anything because we have no choice. And if we say something, we get marked down. And I thought, I've been through that. I've lived through that, and I've seen it, and I've seen how it goes. So I thought, do you know what? I'm going to figure out and try and run a show in Thailand. Wow. Independent.
I didn't know this.
No one really knows about this. Wow. Independent show.
Well done, Nick.
Had no idea what I was doing. No idea. Just wanted to figure it out.
Yeah.
Spoke to people, started looking at venues. I never posted anything on social media. Nothing. Nobody knew about this.
Okay.
And then the boss of PCA, Ryan, I got a random message on Facebook from him when I was organizing a show. And nobody knew about it. He didn't know about it. Nobody knew about it.
So you just came to organize a general bodybuilding show in Thailand yourself?
Yeah. And then Ryan reached out to me, and he started asking me about what the scene's like here. And I kind of said to him, well, it's basically what it was back in the day of UK before PCA. And we got talking, and he tried to build some trust with me, because he's very you have to trust people to do it. He doesn't want to just give it to everyone and anyone. And it was just the timing, of me putting out that energy of putting on a show. I had someone massive reach out to me to put on a show under PCA's name. And I thought, oh, wow. It's like the energy you put out, the energy you attract, right? And again, it was like nothing. He never saw anything that I was doing about trying to put on a show or something like that. So then anyway, we got talking and blah, 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 blah. And then obviously it was through COVID, no shows were happening. One show was announced at the end of COVID, and then it cancelled because of COVID. And I announced the show a week later, and I said, I'm not cancelling. I don't care. The venue was telling me to cancel. Everyone was telling me, don't do it. Don't cancel. Cancel. It's not safe. COVID this, COVID that. And I just said, no. We're doing it. I don't care.
Fight the cancel culture.
Bring the police. I don't care. You're going to have to bring in a wrecking ball to stop me from doing this.
Yes, well done, mate.
So I put it on.
Wow.
And it was a huge success. We had not a lot of athletes, maybe about 60 athletes. 6-0, which is not bad, but it was decent for the first time. And it went really, really well. And Ryan, obviously from PCA, helped me put it all together. And then we probably had 500 or 600 spectators over the day.
Wow.
And they were insane. No one's wearing a mask. No one cares. It was like everyone came together and was
freedom.
Like, wow.
That's what you get from being courageous.
Yeah, and I just thought, wow, this is... Like I was standing on the stage as the MC, and
so proud.
I'm looking out in the audience like, oh my God. And people are going insane. They're screaming. And I was like, wow, this is such an atmosphere. And then... So Ryan came to that show, and he had judged it while I did the MC, and I was going to take over what he does going forward. And I'd put a lot of effort and a lot of work into that first show, December of 2021. And then he said to me, Nick, well done. It was a really good show. Next year, you need to do 6 shows. And I was like, 6 shows? I just poured my life into one, and that was hard, man. And so I thought, you know what? Okay. And I did 7. So I thought, you know what? This guy's telling me to do 6, and I was scared. And I'm like, I'm doing 7. So we've kind of
What a
built it up from
guy.
that. And then like, yeah, it's just exploded because we do it right. Fair judging, good lighting, good stages, good atmosphere, prize money, pro shows, everything. We do it all right. Whereas the other people don't. It's all just lining the pockets. I don't care. I make money from other things. So for me, I just want to put on good bodybuilding shows, give athletes good opportunities. Going through the PCA system is massive. It's getting absolutely huge. It's the biggest in Europe. It's massive in Korea. We're starting to get big in Thailand, and we're going to expand through Asia. So
Beautiful, man.
it's been a good journey, but it's tough. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of stress. It's dealing with fires, putting out bombs. But, you know, I wouldn't have it any other way, and I love it.
It's a beautiful story that explains how important it is and what you get in reward when you separate yourself from what everyone else is doing, saying, stop, no.
You got to see opportunity where others don't. And I'll give you another example of this, right? Before COVID, as an online coach, I was doing okay. I was doing okay, decent, right? COVID happened. I saw opportunity where others didn't. Because in the coaching game, everyone, when COVID happened, freaked out. Gyms closed. They stopped posting content. They stopped advertising. They stop.
Bunker down.
And I just thought, interesting. Actually, I'm going to triple my efforts. I'm going to train 3 times as hard. I'm going to put 3 times the amount of money into advertising. I'm going to push 3 times harder. And I did. And I ended up 3 timesing my client base while everyone else lost clients. And that put me in like one of the top 10 positions of coaches. And it exploded me as a coach because I saw opportunity where others didn't. Most people, COVID happened, shat themselves, pulled away. I tripled my efforts. They all went this way. I went that way. I leapfrogged everyone else. You got to think differently, and you got to see opportunities where others don't. And again, it's something like going back to the pain of loss drove me to win. It's that same mentality. I see opportunity where others don't. I don't see everything, but if something bad is happening, everyone just focuses on the bad, where actually there's something here that if you drive towards that way, it's going to separate you from the crowd, and you're actually going to leapfrog the crowd when things go back to normal.
Totally.
So
Beautiful. Thank you, Nick. We haven't got too long. We finished with a meditation.
Okay.
So, yes. Have you meditated before, Nick?
I've done very basic meditation. The meditation I do, which has helped me a lot, I listen to binaural beats.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I just shut my eyes for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
And that kind of helps me refocus my brain, but I haven't done like deep meditation. You're in charge.
Okay, let's see what I've got. So get comfortable with where you are, get present with where you are, appreciate the fact that we woke up today, appreciate the surroundings, appreciate all of your senses, and in 3 deep breaths, in through your nose, inhale all of the higher vibrations and exhale all of the lower vibrations. And on the 3rd breath, if it's good with you, close your eyes.
Okay.
Give yourself credit or a high five for taking out this time out of your day to focus on your self-development, sharing wisdom with us. Now focus the energy into your hands. Feel the awareness and energy in your hands. And if you've got any tight muscles, relax them. So aim to turn your muscles off from the top of your head, scan down through your face, through your shoulders, and just aim to turn the muscles off. Really appreciate your breath. Now, moving forward to the main part of the meditation, which will revolve around going back into your memory and appreciating all of the joyful moments you had, all of the lessons you learned. Go back into your memory and revisit all of the obstacles you've overcame to be here today, all of the relationships that have helped build you to be the person you are now. Give thanks to them. All of the love and care you received from your family and parents, all of the opportunities you took full advantage of. Everything that you have done to better yourself and to create the life you've created now. Thank yourself. All of those occasions you turned down to go and party, give yourself credit. Now, move forward to this present moment. Appreciate the technology we have. Appreciate all of the business that flows to you. Appreciate your level of consciousness and awareness and appreciation for the life you live. Give thanks to all of the opportunities you have. Give thanks to the air that we are now breathing. Appreciate it. Give thanks to all of our working organs and our operating limbs and mind. Feel the appreciation. Now, going forward into the future, give thanks to all of the joyful and happy moments that we are yet to live. All of the new friendships that we are yet to make. Our new heightened level of appreciation and awareness that waits for us. And the long-lasting health we will have. Give thanks to all of the future opportunities that will crop up. And the continued, improved and recreated self we will continue to recreate. Give thanks to it all. Now, recap from the start of the meditation to where we are now. And take with you everything that's resonated strongly with you. And again, give yourself a pat on the back or a high five for holding your focus throughout the meditation. And to finish off with, take 3 deep breaths in through your nose. Inhale all of the higher vibrations, and this time exhale all of the higher vibrations into our environment. And the final one, really appreciate the breath. Now bring your hands to cover your eyes. And in your own time, blink your eyes open to reveal the wonderful world we live in.
Well done, mate.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you too.
You're very welcome. So I've got a couple of more questions to finish off
No
with.
problem.
While I move on too swiftly, how was that for you? How was the meditation and what resonated with you?
Good question. It kind of just puts you sort of back in focus. And, you know, when we're talking the whole time for 1 hour, I'm constantly thinking, and I'm constantly speaking through. Whereas that just slows you down and allows you to then refocus and process. So, you know, when I leave here today, I'm not still going to be in this like this. And now I'm going to be, when I leave here today, I'm going to be back into like a mellow state.
Centered.
So I'd say that's probably how I feel about that.
Beautiful. And the future of PCA in Thailand, where is your vision?
15 shows a year.
15 shows
Currently
a year.
at 11. All full shows, bigger stadiums, bigger plyometrics. So I want to be doing shows on the beach, fireworks. I want to be doing, like, taking it to levels that's never been seen before.
Yep.
And creating the ultimate platform for athletes to get famous. Because at the end of the day, I listen to what athletes want. I've been an athlete. I know what they want. I know where they're trying to get to. So me being able to make that happen for them is my ultimate vision and my ultimate goals. But I like to do it with a lot of plyometrics. So like I said, fireworks, lighting shows, huge stages, backdrops, all sorts of entertainment. I constantly watch the WWE for inspiration.
Beautiful.
So they do it on point.
Yes.
On point. So I look at what they do and I try and implement that into what we do. But in a bodybuilding sense, because obviously bodybuilding is more of a sport based, whether people say it's a sport or not. It is, because it's competitive, whereas WWE is show.
Play.
But I want to make sure ours is like a show, but done right. So that's my vision for the future of PCA.
Beautiful. Yeah. And some philosophies that you would either pass on to your younger self or you would pass on to the world now to help them level up?
Yeah. I mean, I've got a few. I mean, one is when something bad happens, it's actually a good thing, and you've got to see it that way. And it's not just a cop-out, it genuinely is, because how many bad situations have you been in that have actually turned out to be the best thing that have ever happened to you? The worse it is, the better it becomes. So I think that's probably something that I could have told myself, but I also put out to the world. The other one is, he who stays strongest for the longest is the one who prevails, right? Because everyone will fire themselves into something for 2 years and do pretty well at 2 years, and they'll probably get ahead of you. But if you do it for 5 years, you're going to leapfrog them. So he who stays strongest for the longest is the one who prevails, especially now we live in a world that's people are this person for a month, then they're this person for a month, then they're this person. It's like you're never going to get anywhere. You got to find what you like, what you resonate with, stay strong, stay consistent, keep going, believe in your message. Obviously, things are going to phase shift as you go. But I would take that down to he who stays strongest for the longest is the one who prevails.
Beautiful marathon mindset.
Marathon, but you've also got to be moving forward. Like I used to say, sprint the marathon.
Yes. Yes, I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Is there anything else you would like to share with us, Nick, before we wrap it up here?
I don't know, mate. We've been through a lot, so we've spoken a lot, which is good. And I appreciate you giving me a platform to express these things. A lot of people come to me for this sort of mindset and listen to, so it's good to be able to put that out to the world rather than... I mostly keep a lot of this stuff for the people I work with and the people that are in my circle, so it's different for me to put it out to kind of everyone.
Yes.
So it's very different for me, but I'm honoured to do that.
Beautiful.
Anything else we want to talk about? I mean... No, I'm open, bro. I'm an open book. So
one question is like, what would you say to the person that is, say, over 20 pounds now? 20 pounds. 20 stone.
Got ya.
Okay, it's 20 pounds. 20 stone man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they've got, like, say, a remote job. They're not doing much exercise. They haven't got a relationship or anything like that. How do you, like, get through to someone like that?
You know, I think, like, it's different as it's gone. So you've got to kind of learn about the person first. But mostly the way I kind of conduct things like this is I would just say, you're a fat piece of shit, bro. I'm sorry, but it's just like, some people need to hear that. Most people need to hear that. They need to hear the truth. Look, if someone's like crazy suicidal, I'm not going to say that.
No.
You know what I mean? But in reality, like, this person that's really overweight, how did they get overweight? Right?
Yeah.
You know, they just kept eating, and they probably do a lot of other dumb shit as well, which keeps them comfortable and safe in their zone. They've just got to eliminate all that shit.
Comfort.
Yeah, like
you got to dive out of comfort.
Yeah, you probably need some bullying, man. You
Yeah.
need to be told, so I like to be told if I'm doing something wrong. Like, I like my close circle, we are savage with each other, man. We are savage, bro. Like, one of my mates is getting a little bit fat. We just constantly grab his love handles and call him a fat piece of shit. But it works, and it changes them. And it's like, actually, he's right. You know what I mean? And then they hold me accountable for certain things that I might do or I might say. And they're like, nah, bro. And I'm like, yeah, actually, fair play. Like, you got to have a good circle of people that is a savage around you.
How about the endless excuses when people come up with those?
Yeah, I mean, we're all guilty of it. Everyone's guilty of the excuses, but someone's got to call you out on your bullshit, right? And it's like, yeah, like you said, the guy that's 20 stone. The good news about someone that's 20 stone is this. It probably took them over 10 years to get there. But they could get it off in 3. So, do you know what I mean? It's not going to take them 10 years to get it off. It might take them 2 or 3. So they might have been getting that big for 10 years, but they can get it off in 1/5 of the time. So that's something positive that they can take from it. But then it's about their habits.
Yeah.
And it's about what they're doing. Like I said, they're probably a porn addict. They probably smoke a bunch of weed and eat burgers every night and eat 7-Eleven food and just dumb shit like that. Like, man, I couldn't think of anything worse. I would never want to live like that. Like, never.
Lack of responsibility, victim mindset.
It could be a bunch of all of it. But I think the biggest thing is they need to be called out on their bullshit, because I think most people now are just cuddled too much. Oh, you can't say that. You can't say that. No, I say bring back bullying. Not to the point where people are going to, like, you know, jump off a bridge, but to the point of, like, you need to be called out.
Yes.
Like, if nothing changes, and everyone's going, it's okay, it's okay.
It's not okay.
No, it's not okay.
No.
Like, I hold myself to these standards, you know? So if you're around me, I'm going to hold you to the same standard I hold myself. I'm not going to feel sorry for you. I don't feel sorry for myself. Why should I feel sorry for you? You know, so I'd probably say, like, in a nice way, bro, and I'd say it with a smile on my face, but you're a fat piece of shit. And
Tough,
you need
tough love.
Tough love. I love you, bro, but you're a fat piece of shit, and that's got to change.
Yeah.
And I think it's got to be one of the only ways forward, because, like I said, the world is as fat as it's ever been, and we're as soft as we've ever been. So where do you sort of, where do you put it? That's my philosophy on it. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. This is the way I am. You know, it's like, I've worked myself to become the man that I am today, right? Why would I feel sorry for someone who's not willing to do the work that I've done? I won't. I don't. Like, there's...
What's it? How is it helping?
Yeah.
Feeling sorry for someone and giving them sympathy?
Well, the thing is, it's like pity and sympathy breeds more of it. There's this thing that Esther Hitz talks about, which is the emotional guidance scale. At the top, it's like joy, freedom, happiness,
peace,
growth, peace. And then at the bottom, there's like jealousy, bitter, angry. All that. That's all at the bottom. And so what that emotional guidance scale shows is that at the top of it, if you can put yourself mostly with these feelings, what you're going to attract is good. But if you put yourself at the bottom with these things, you're going to only attract the bad. So the emotional guidance scale is something that I've always found really, really powerful. And don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect at it. Nobody is. But I live most of my time in those top things. And that's why I'm able to attract the things I do. But again,
Beautiful.
I've worked so hard on myself to become the person I am today, and I'm nowhere near where I want to be. And I'm not going to feel sorry or pity or something low on the emotional guidance scale because someone else isn't willing to do the work that I'm not willing to do. You either get on my level or just don't come near me. I'm sorry. I haven't got time. I'm too focused on getting places that I want to get to because I know that that's what will benefit other people, not me feeling pity for others.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Nick.
All right, bro.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, man.
So many
Thank you for
jewels
having
and
me.
gems. Much love.
I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in, guys. If you'd like one-on-one coaching with me or Nick, message us. Or if you'd like to support the podcast, you can buy me a coffee, and that will go to potentially improving the editing and just advertising, all that stuff. And also my one haircut a week. Much love. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.